We're going to talk about UniSwap, how to use it, why you should use it, and most importantly, how to be safe using it. So, welcome to the channel. If you are new, subscribe, bell button, like, and comment. Please share this, get it out there. So, let's talk first about what is UniSwap and also grounding and how to use it in a full tutorial. So it's been a while since I've done any sort of tutorial, so it'd be nice to get involved. So what UniSwap realistically is, it's an Ethereum based exchange allowing you to swap ERC20 tokens. That is step number one. Also, it allows you to create and obviously provide that liquidity for the market. Now, the way that these work, it's all about liquidity. It's all about decentralization, which is key because anything can be listed on here. That's why we've got to be careful with scams, but we'll go over that in more detail in a bit. But in terms of all this, how it was kind of created and why it was created was all based off of a post by Vitalik Buterin. Basically, Hayden Adams was inspired to create the protocol by a post. Simple as that, because lack of stuff happening. But in terms of the basics on how to use it, it is incredibly easy. It allows you to buy pretty much any ERC20 token there is, and it is very, very easy to do so. So we will go over it in a bit more detail, but I want to be careful with words that I say. I often get criticized for being pessimistic in terms of stuff, but there's definitely an ilk of that with UniSwap in regards to me and how I am. The fees are very, very extreme, and we're going to go over that in a bit. So we'll do a full tutorial and show you how to work it, how to use it effectively and efficiently, using a few other little tools and tricks in the trade to show you how it works. So let's go into UniSwap. So on the screen now, we are in UniSwap. Hello. And it's a nice, neat and tidy website in my opinion. It tells you how it all works in terms of the white paper, the Uni token, which is obviously brand new, which you are entitled to if you've used it before the 1st September. And it has all the analytics. The analytics for me is kind of like cool. I like this. And we'll go into this bit first because it tells you exactly how much liquidity they've got. Obviously 2.17 billion at the moment. And actually you can do a little bit of price and chart analysis on some of these. So let's just go on Year in Finance, for example. You can be able to see roughly price data, not much, not the most detailed of stuff, but you can have an idea. Some of these stuff here, obviously Year in Finance is one of the bigger ones, but there's a lot of random tokens. You don't really know what you're buying chart-wise, so make sure you do some research on those. But in terms of the overall app and stuff, it's really easy, but this is just the analytics side of it. It shows you exactly what's happening, what the most liquid are, where the providers are, all kinds of good stuff. So if I then just jump out of this and just go back to the start, which is obviously down here, what we need to go on to is launching the app. Now, first things first, what you need to do is obviously hook up a wallet. MetaMask is what I use. I use it as a bit of a hot wallet. Ultimately, the way I do it, I obviously buy on this and then I send it over to my Ledger Ethereum wallet. It's ERC20 wallet, so it doesn't really matter. So I put a little bit of Ethereum that I want to waste, essentially, or use on my MetaMask. This is a brand new wallet. I've never used it before, as you can see. I'll open it up, boom, did it all last night. MetaMask is a piece of piss to use. Make sure you obviously connect it correctly. You copy your seed numbers and make sure you store them safely, either on a hard drive that's external, or memory stick, whatever, or ultimately by memory, but I wouldn't recommend that because if you're like me, you'll forget what side of the bed to wake up on. So that's it in simple terms, right? Really, really easy. Set up your MetaMask, get it in, right? Functionality, how does it work? You've got the swap. I want Ethereum and I want to buy sausage coin. I want to buy sushi. I want to buy burger. Yeah, they are real coins. But ultimately, it's very, very easy to do. We'll go over that in a second. But pool, you've got liquidity. You've got a load of Ethereum. You've got a load of USD, whatever. You want to add liquidity, do it. So if you want to input it, boom, happy days. You can select what you want. So if you wanted to just get US, you can get that. If you wanted to get that, you can. Obviously, you need enough liquidity. You get tokens for this. You get like a token style sort of metric thingy-mabobby to show that you are providing liquidity. I can't remember the precise name is, that's why I made one up. But you get this token to allow you to be basically a transfer record of you providing liquidity from how long you've done it, how much you've got, and how much you're entitled to. You can then use those tokens onto other stuff like Curve, example, yield farming, and you can go farming with it. That's simply it. But we're going to mainly focus on the swap side of it. But if you've got liquidity, it's really, really easy. And obviously, you can read more about providing liquidity. It's very, very straightforward. Obviously, we've got the token, Uni, which is brand new. Don't know much about it in terms of how it uses. Obviously, you know, it's relatively new. It's only been out for 3 or 4 days. So we'll see how the drawdown and the benefits are of that over the period of the time. And obviously voting and obviously charts. That chart icon is where we were before. But we want to focus mainly on using it as a swapping element. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to understand how Etherscan also works, right? So that is vitally important for stopping scams. But first things first, in my honest opinion, the best place to go for this, honestly, and I'm not joking, is go to CoinGecko. Go to CoinGecko. The reason why, I will explain. There's a lot of scams. There's a lot of fake addresses. If you go on Twitter, you'll see tons of them. You'll see all kinds of horrible, horrible stuff, right? And ultimately, what we want to do, we want to use our Ethereum to buy into something, or basically swap into something, right? When you go that, it's easy, right? You can select a list if you wanted to. Now, you can see CoinGecko here, the top 100. There's all kinds of different stuff here. But if you start then on the previous page, putting in a token. So if I just put in, I don't know, sushi, you're never going to find it because 1, it's massive, and 2, it all goes from the address. Realistically, going by a contact address is the easiest way of doing it, in my honest opinion. So you can't even type certain things in here anymore, whereas it used to, you could. So what we need to do, we need to go to CoinGecko, we need to find the coin that we want to buy. What we want to buy is anything we realistically want. Whether it's an ERC20 token, that is a must, but anything you want that is on that platform. So if we go on to say, let's just say sushi for an example, we can buy this relatively straightforward, relatively easily. And the way to do it is obviously via the contract address, which is obviously put on here. So when we go to Etherscan on here, we know that that is a sushi token. We want that address here. Simple as that, which is provided also by the world of, you know, CoinGecko. The reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of people fail, and what they do is they essentially go onto this, they put in whatever the hell they want, and they don't give a hell about it. There you go. Tells you exactly what it is perfectly. I don't want to buy sushi though. That's all I'm going to say. I want to buy something that is totally random, but also pretty obvious. You can buy any ERC20 token, as I say. If you wanted to, you can buy whatever you want. You can buy the likes of Kyber Network. Obviously, Yearn Finance is there. You can buy, you can convert into DAI if you want to. It's really, really easy. You can buy some UniSwap, which is now at $4.88, which is starting to come down now. Compound, another one. So massive, massive drops in the market right now when you are looking at this. So just be careful in terms of what you're buying. So what we want to buy, we're just going to buy some KNC, just to keep it nice and simple, really, really obvious. And again, the same rules apply. Just copy in the contract address. And all we're looking to do here is making sure that A, it's a right address, and B, you know, can we do it effectively and easily? There you go. That is the KNC contact address. Relatively straightforward. If you want to go on Etherscan, again, simple. Really, really straightforward. Just making sure that you have got it in the right place. So again, contact address, happy days. And yeah, it's the same one. Ends in the same metrics at the bottom there. BD200, BD200. Boom. So we go into the Uniswap interface. We want to, let's just say we'll buy 0.1 Ethereum. Oh, apologies. There we go. Into the contact address, and for that 0.1 we will get 37, well 38 basically. That is estimated. Why? Slippage. So make sure that you understand that. Obviously fees, liquidity provider, all kinds of horrible stuff. We are going to get bummed on fees probably. There is other settings though, more advanced settings as well you can do on stuff like this, so in terms of slippage and stuff, because some transactions will totally fail due to what is happening and how it kind of works. So if we want to swap that 0.1 Ethereum for KNC, All we need to do is go like that, press the swap button, and it will just do it as we are essentially. It's going to come up here with all the gas fees, and the gas fee is scandalous. $10, which is why I'm going to come onto this now. The problem that we've got is that, and I mentioned it at the start of the video, $10 for that is absolutely monstrous. So guess what? I am going to reject the transaction. I'm not going to do it because I think that is disgusting. In terms of how it works, so it's basically that you are swapping it around. If you then have the token, it's really, really straightforward, because what happens? Well, you'll have KNC in here, and then you can swap it for something else. You can swap it for Ethereum, you can swap it for DAI, whatever. Really is straightforward in terms of how it works, but that is just a problem that we've got. If you do want to change how, you know, if you put in expert mode, for example, you know, you can change the way the gas fees work, or you can have less slippage, see what happens there. And again, if we go into this, still really, really high. If we want to edit it, we can, but ultimately there's not much wiggle room. You know, realistically, there isn't much wiggle room at all. That's the problem. If you wanted to go really low, maybe, but you're never going to get the transaction through because it's that clogged. That is the problem with it. So as I say, my pessimism comes out because I'm not willing to spend that much on it, because it's not a default payment. It's a percentage pretty much of the amount that you're sending, because it's a gas payment. So when you look on the likes of CoinGecko and you see the gas station, for example, here, that is high. That is incredibly high. Normally the standard rate for like a fast payment is about 40. Normally for a normal fast payment is 40. It is incredibly expensive right now, which is why we need Ethereum 2.0. So with all that, this is pretty much your ending of it. If we wanted to provide some sort of liquidity, we would be able to, but obviously we can't due to the fact that we're not holding enough. But for me, this was mainly just to show you how easy it is to use. It is really easy. The main purpose that you need is Ethereum in your MetaMask, and you can buy whatever you want. But as I say, you can buy anything you want. If you go onto the likes of the markets, you know, you can find all the DeFi stuff, and they're all pretty much here. You know, all the stuff that you can need. And, you know, if you're wanting to buy something totally random that no one's really heard of before, and it is an ERC20 token, well, guess what? You're going to find it on UniSwap before anything else, which is where the opportunity lies, where you can make money, essentially. And ultimately, you just need to be careful. So, rule number 1, make sure you use CoinGecko, get the right contract address. Rule number 2, make sure you are willing to pay the fees provided. Now, the big thing with this is it's not Uniswap's problem. It is the Ethereum network. They need Ethereum 2.0, which is why I've never realistically used Uniswap that much. You know, from the time that it got really popular, all the new tokens are coming out on it. It increased the fees, it increased everything. It made it pretty much, in my opinion, worthless. The reason being, you've just seen there how much it would cost. My average investment is into the thousands. I don't just buy a little bit, a little bag. I buy something that I really want and quantify it. That same transaction would cost a hell of a lot more if I wanted to put more in. That's just the bottom line. And that's where the problem is. If I wanted to put, say, 0.2 into that contract alone, just to give you an insight, an example of that, if I wanted to do that, you know, it's still, in my opinion, a lot of money for anything. And that will increase over time due to the fact of, you know, the simple lines of, well, it's obvious, really. The more people that use it, and this has been a lot higher as well. So for me, as a test video, I'm not going to spend $10 to the Ethereum network just to show you stuff, because it's not really worth it. It's not worth the point. But you can see how it's used. It is very, very easy. You don't have to do much, but the price impact is huge if you are buying and selling on this as little drips and drabs. Big investments, worth your while, obviously, because, you know, it doesn't fluctuate that much. But for me, it's not worth it, you know, just to show you the point. So that is Uniswap in terms of how to use it in basic functionality. It is really easy. You cannot go wrong with it. Ultimately, there is ways of going wrong. Obviously, the wrong contract addresses. But for me, even if you've got a load of money and you want to move it around, it's very, very easy. If I wanted to, let's just say, just before I end this, if I wanted to move this to DAI, you know, if I wanted to move this into a stable currency, essentially, again, you can do that on here in a really easy way. Boom. You know, if I wanted to, if the market was going a bit ropey and I've got a load of Ethereum in here and I wanted to just chill out for a bit, you know, again, happy days, you can do it. And obviously you've got other routes there in terms of how it works, but more likely we're going to see what the cost is going to be. Fuck off. Unreal, innit? Absolutely unreal. So there you go, boys and girls. I hope you enjoy it. It's very, very simple. It's not the greatest video in the world, I do apologise, but I don't think anyone's willing to pay that much for fees right now. Let's be honest, because it's not worth it. If you're doing multiple trades on this, it gets expensive pretty fast.